So welcome to this webinar, The Right Mindset to Achieve Your Goals. I'm Tony Wynyard from a company called Habits and Health. And when it comes to your health and wellness, your health and wellness journey, you probably think about maybe losing fat or gaining muscle, which is kind of what most people seem to think about. Going further, you may think about how many workouts you hit in a week, or all the foods you eat, or perhaps that you didn't eat, and maybe how much water you drink, and maybe even things like sleep and stress. But what if I told you that there's actually something even more important that may be holding you back from reaching whatever your health and wellness goals are, and long-term health and wellness goals specifically? So to give you an example, I was working with one particular client, and for a couple of meetings, she was having some issues, and she kept saying she wasn't being able to find the progress that she was hoping for. And we would look at different action steps, and each time I was trying to find what the answer was. And at each accountability meeting, she would be saying things to me like, well, one day I got really busy and I forgot my lunch and I ended up grabbing some pizza. And then the rest of the day was just going downhill. And then I stopped to get fast food for dinner on the way home and found some cookies in the back of a cupboard. And then when I woke up the next day, I was so upset at myself that I had a donut for breakfast, and it just continued. And she just kept going on. She kept mentioning that she's never going to lose the weight that she's hoping for. And to the point where she was just sounding really more and more defeated. So probably many of us have felt this way at some point. I'd imagine, if you have felt that way, believe me, you're not alone, because most people have. So when it comes to our health and wellness journey, it's very easy to get wrapped up into the all or nothing mindset. And that's what this really is going to be about. It's easy to feel pressure and constantly strive for perfection. So it's easy to focus on the result rather than the journey. And if we fall short, we kind of tend to rebound. So that is why today we're going to discuss how your mindset may be hampering your motivation and making adherence feel nearly impossible. So in an interview, a New York City therapist, Catherine Spelling.
Tony, that slide's blank.
Is it blank?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just carry on. I don't know why it's blank, but I'll carry on. I mean, it's all it has on it. What the slide is supposed to have on it is just a triangle that says thoughts at the top point of the triangle, feelings in the bottom left part of the triangle, and actions in the bottom right part of the triangle. And she was saying about this therapist I referred to, she was talking about how mindset, shifting your mindset about how to lose weight is the biggest factor in losing weight. So we can't shift our weight from the outside without realizing the correct inner resolve and intention. So to help you visualize this idea, let's discuss this triangle, which I think you can't see, but just imagine there's a triangle on the screen, and that it has three domains. As I mentioned, there's thoughts, feelings, and actions. So the idea stems from the evidence-based treatment referred to as CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. So CBT helps you become aware of inaccurate or negative thinking, so you can view challenging situations more clearly and respond to them in a more effective way. So as you can see, mindset is crucial to your journey, and maybe the factor that's holding you back. So if you are ready to get the mindset to keep your motivation up and your adherence high, you just need to follow these 3 steps, which I'm going to show you, and hopefully you will be able to see them. So can you see that slide? Step 1, establish your why.
No, but I've worked out what the problem is. It's showing your Facebook and not your PowerPoint.
Right. Okay, that's weird. Zoom is...
Yeah.
All right, let me stop sharing it, and then I'll try and reshare and see what happens. And now the mouse has stopped working. Actually, I think I know what was going on. So is it showing it now?
No.
All right, okay. Right, I stop sharing and then I'll share screen again. And by the way, welcome, Alan. How you doing, mate?
That's it.
Right, okay. Is it showing it now?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I think I know what it is. And it's not something that can be rectified this time. So it'll have to be something I'll work on for next time. So step one, establish your why. So before mapping out how to get there, we must first understand where we are going and why it is so important. So if you have been trying to lose weight, have you taken the time to ask yourself why you want to lose that weight in the first place? If you started a fitness routine, do you truly understand the importance of why you started that routine? So to help you figure out your why, if you've got a piece of paper, I should have said this at the beginning. So it'd be handy if you've got a piece of paper. As I said, this is being recorded, so you can watch this again. But if you've got a piece of paper, list out what characteristics you value, what's important to you. Write down 3 characteristics that you like in those people that you kind of gravitate towards, people that you really find instrumental or motivational or inspirational in some way. And write down 3 characteristics of the person that you'd like to become. Now, if you have written down a few, do your list have any similarities? If you've written down some things, do they have any similarities? So as you take the time to delve deeper into your why, aim to establish that strong emotional connection. So this may sound like to be more confident in my own skin, something like that, or be around and be active in my child's life or my grandchild's life, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is to you, be sure to write that down on your piece of paper. That's really important. So having and understanding the emotional connection to your goal or your why is what can help you refocus when things don't feel easy. So step 2 is goal setting. And it's taking the time to set the stage to a healthier mindset by establishing goals. So when we discuss goals, there are 2 types of goals, really. So it should be 2 types of goals, not that. I didn't mean to be doing that to you. So first we need to discuss our outcome goals, or what sometimes is referred to as SMART goals, SMART goals. And these are goals that you wish to achieve in a specific time frame that will, and here's the most important part, that will motivate you. So a SMART goal is a written goal that is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's time sensitive. So that's where the SMART comes from. So here's an example of a goal that you may have. So you may want to lose 20 pounds. So that's a great start to a goal, but let's go further to make it smart. So losing 20 pounds is specific and it's measurable, but we need to define the time sensitive aspect that is attainable and realistic. So now we are going to turn our regular goal into a SMART goal by adding, I will lose 20 pounds in 5 months. Now, remember, a realistic weight loss goal is about 1 to 2 pounds a week. When you see these articles talking about how you can be losing 5 pounds a week, that is possible. That's not healthy, and that's more likely that you're going to be putting it back on again. If you aim for something much slower, it's probably less likely to come rushing back afterwards. So a good goal is around 1 or 2 pounds a week. That's attainable, and it's a healthy way to lose weight as well. So having something specific will help you to focus your efforts by looking at the big picture and ultimately increase the chances of achieving your goal. So go ahead and and take a moment to write down your SMART goal on, on a piece of paper that you have. So the second type of goal is the process goal, which are the things that will help you take small steps towards achieving the end result that you've written out in your SMART goal. So these process goals are what we like to refer to as action steps. So they should only be things that you can control. There's many things that we can't control. There are some things that we can control. So I want you to be so confident that you would bet your house on it. So the things that you're absolutely sure that you can control. So the next aspect of a great action step is to only write them in a positive. So what I mean by that is, so instead of writing, I will not eat fast food for lunch, which is negative, you could write it, I will take my lunch to work X days each week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it may be. So write it in a positive frame rather than in a negative frame. And so take a few moments to write down 1 or 2 action steps that are 100% in your control. And that if you are at least 90% confident you can be successful with a positive statement, it helps you enormously. So while you take the time to do that, I want to explain the power of reframing things in a positive mindset. So a professional golf coach was working with an athlete, with one of his golfers, and found themselves on a hole with water all down the right side of the fairway. Now, I've got to admit, I'm not a golfer, but this story kind of brings home a point. So as the athlete, as the guy that was, he was coaching, he went up to take the shot, and the guy was thinking to himself, don't go into the water, don't go into the water. And he kept repeating this in his head all the time. He swung the club, and sure enough, he went right into the water. So the coach asked the guy, he said, what were you thinking? What was that inner voice in your head saying? And the guy, he said, I just kept thinking, don't go into the water. So the coach said to him, okay, take another shot. But this time, I want you to think to yourself about hitting it forward towards that big tree down the left of the fairway. So it's the opposite side to where the water is. And I want you just to keep thinking about trying to hit that tree instead. So the athlete did that. And sure enough, the ball ended up on the left side of the fairway with a clear shot to the green. And then it was much easier to get a par. So the coach explained that you have to visualize what you will do rather than what you won't do. Thinking in the positive will help you focus and align yourself in order to find success and move forward in a direction that you want to go. So if you are only visualizing the failure or the water, that's where you're going to go. So if you're visualizing the left side, the tree and so on, you've got a much better chance. So now that you have outlined your goals, let's move to step 3 of finding the mindset that will help you achieve your goals. So step 3 is remember the 3 R's, which are refocus, reframe, and recover. So when things are going well, it's easy to continue on having a great mindset. It's easy when things are going in the right direction. But we all know life is not in a straight line from A to B. So our journeys come with twists and turns. So that's where we need step 3. So let's keep going with bringing your lunch to work as the action step, the one that I suggested before, as the SMART goal to losing 20 pounds in 5 months. So you're going to bring your lunch to work with you if you are doing a 9-to-5 job. And so imagine that you're really busy and you forget your lunch and you end up eating way too much pizza and fizzy drinks and that someone else in the office has brought in very kindly. And you may be thinking that, you messed up and now you're going to slip back into those old habits and thinking that you failed, which may lead to other snacks and treats that kind of pull you further from your goal. Or maybe you miss one workout, so you kind of get down on yourself and then a whole week goes by and you don't make it to the gym. It's very easy to kind of get into those traps. Many people do. So when you are starting to feel yourself slipping into that negative mindset, let's remind ourselves to reframe the situation. So rather than only focusing on the negative where you messed up, what have you been doing really well over the last couple of weeks? What has been going really, right for you? So you've been doing really great staying hydrated, maybe, or maybe you didn't make it into the gym this week, but you did spend extra time with your family. So now go back to your why. And did what took you away from the action steps align with your why, whatever that may be for you? If you are the person who wrote down to be more active and present in your child's life, for example, then reframing and celebrating that you took more time to be with your family, if that's what pulled you away from the action step in not aligning with your why, then reframe and refocus. So reframing is all about looking at the big picture rather than this one moment in the long journey. So refocusing is the next R, and this is all about reflection. So it's another R. So, or digging into your thoughts even further. So we all have this little voice in our heads that verbalizes our thoughts to us. Sometimes this inner voice is positive and sometimes it isn't. So next time you have a thought during a valley in your journey, as you're on your journey, ask yourself, is the way I am thinking making it easier for me to act how I want to act, who I want to be, and how I want to feel? And again, this sounds easier said than done. But while you are refocusing and reflecting on your thoughts, try refocusing your breath by breathing in positivity and exhaling those thoughts that are not serving you and are not helping your purpose. Then ask yourself, what is the best thing that I can do right now? So sometimes a breath and a refocusing question isn't enough, and that's okay. There's a well-known sports psychologist who helps her athletes with a thought stopping process that includes a physical and a verbal cue to signal the refocusing. So this may be a clap of the hands followed by a verbal, you might say stop out loud, or you might just say it in your head, stop, to help you refocus. Try the breathing and or this thought stepping process and find what works best for you. So next we start to recover. And a great way to recover from this negative self-talk is to replace that with a positive thought. So Wendy Swift, who's an incredible sports psychologist, gave the example of a strong positive replacement thought. I don't have to wreck my whole day because I got caught up and didn't have time to pack lunch. Calm down, the only meal affected is lunch. I will go to this store and eat a proper portion and carry on with the rest of my day on track. So that's one way that you can have a replacement thought. The only rules for this replacement thought is to ensure that it has positive language. It is in the present tense, it is task focused, and it is believable. Start practicing these replacement thoughts by writing them down in moments where you feel your motivation may be kind of slipping downwards. So wanting to lose weight or change your body in any way, along with starting a fitness routine and maybe a different eating pattern, is very emotional and it's intimate. So oftentimes this leads us to starting our journey without ever sharing with our friends and family due to the fear of failure. This leads us to reason number 3, that your diet fails. You try to do it alone. While this journey can and should be simple, it's never going to be easy. So our emotions, our stress levels, our energy levels, relationships, and so much more all directly relate to our consumption of food. So, I mean, have you ever felt so stressed that you started to crave comfort foods. I mean, that's completely normal. Most people do. So when it comes to mindset, it's so important to reach our goals. And just like that golf shot that I was talking about before, if you don't have a positive mindset, if you're already setting yourself up for failure. So through this presentation, I've discussed about the 3 steps to help you start finding the best mindset to reach your goals, which included establishing your why, proper goal setting, and how to handle adversity with the 3 R's. So if you're looking to help to find the right mindset or the right path to reach your goals, be sure you can ask me about helping with a nutrition program, for example. But the next aspect on recovering is deciding that you need to adjust your goals, and based on the current situation that pulled you from the action step. So do you need to adjust them again to ensure that you're 90% confident, and perhaps confident enough to bet your house on it? So you will then either establish a new action step or some new action steps to fit your needs, or we focus on how to get back on track to the previous action step, and if you feel it is realistic with your current situation. So the best thing you can do to help with this mindset shift is talk with your support system. You need to establish a support system. Get a nutrition coach, have a close friend, family member, get someone to really help you with this, who can help you walk through this process and always be there when you need to make some kind of adjustment. So that was the some of the steps. I hope I didn't go through this too fast. Obviously, you can watch the replay. But I'm going to be doing another workshop in a couple of weeks' time, in 2 weeks today, which is the 29th, I think it is. And that is called Finding Calm and Reducing Stress. So if this seminar did bring any stress on for you, well, you just got to wait 2 weeks' time and I'll show you how to reduce that stress. So, and if you're interested in the workshops that I deliver, I'm delivering the next workshop. The next 12-week workshop will start on January the 10th, which is obviously just into the new year. And by then, many people have already failed some of their New Year's resolutions. And so we'll look at your New Year's resolutions. And it's a 12-week workshop. And in that 12 weeks, we'll go over how to create habits that become automatic, that you don't have to think about, that you can just do on they're just automated, you just do on a daily basis. And they're going to be based around 5 main areas: sleep, which is the most important one, breathing, nutrition, movement, and mindset. And we'll look at, for a couple of weeks, we'll look at habits and the best way of going about creating habits. And then we'll move into sleep, and we'll talk about how we can maybe improve your sleep and some of the things that you can do. And habits fall into three areas, really. I don't want to get too much into the workshop, but there's one-time actions. It might be buying a blackout curtain, which is just something you need to do once. Or then there's things you do on a regular basis, like a wind-down routine, or maybe wearing glasses that block out blue light, or whatever it might be. So that's and if anyone wants to have a free intro call with me to discuss more about the workshop, or maybe about one-to-one coaching, feel free to, I mean, that link is quite long, but it's just calendly.com/Tony Wynyard /20-minute-consultation. And we can have a 20-minute call. It'd probably be longer than 20 minutes in reality, but we just have a chat, and I can talk to you more about what it entails and if it is right for you or not.